What is up, guys? So I'm trying something new with this top 5. I kind of want to revamp the series a bit, make it different, make it more interesting and more useful. We're going to be taking a look at my top 5, Korea's top 5, my low elo monster pick, and a few honorable mentions all in one video. Let me know what you think of this new format, if I got it right or what I could do better. Like this if you did, dislike it if you didn't, but let's go. Now first off, let's talk about Malzahar. It's really hard to put him in a tier list at the moment because he's beyond broken. Riot have said they want to adjust him very soon, even maybe in a hotfix before the patch. That's when you know something is way too strong. He clears too fast, he has really good ganks, good damage, and just overall he's way too good. He is the best all-around jungler, I think, but he's always banned, so we're not really going to go into him properly until he settles down at a normal kind of power level. Now before we actually crack on with our top 5, I really quickly want to mention the voice app Discord. They've kindly agreed to sponsor this video, which honestly for me is perfect because I already use it. Discord lets you type and chat with a voice to your friends on servers you create for free. It's super simple, you just set it up, you invite your friends, and you can play together or organize when you want to play. I have been using this for my stream and my friends for a while, and I genuinely actually do recommend it. I can even set up a room that Foxdrop can't enter so I can finally get some peace and quiet. There is a link down below, go and check it out, give it a go and let me know what you think. So my number 5 is Nidalee. Not the best pick at lower ranks unless you've practiced her a lot, but very, very high impact. It's kind of a bit like Yasuo. You know how they either like really feed or make you go, wow, that was a sick play? Well, that's kind of Nidalee in a nutshell. The reason she has fallen down this patch a bit is because unless she's ahead, she really does struggle to get through these big beefy targets. We have kind of seen a little bit of a shift into later game picks as well. Towers are a bit harder to take after the patch, so it's easier to survive and get back into the game. Basically, the thing is she's a riskier pick now. If you get ahead, you can 1v5, but if you don't or you don't end soon, then others become way more useful and it's just not as easy to have a big impact anymore. So that was my pick, and now we're going to go on to Korea's number 5, which is actually Fiddlesticks. He's had a sudden spike in win rate and popularity, right? The new Abyssal is also working really well, which kind of helps him get through the mid game a bit. It's interesting that he wins most of his games pre 25 minutes. He gets ahead and then ultimate is just kind of impossible to overcome. He does have good clear, he has ganks, team fights, but Koreans mostly use him for the fear ganks. You Moby boots, charge into lane, fear someone, and they just die. My number 4 is going to be Kha'Zix. Very hard style carry jungler. Honestly, kind of a more reliable version of Nidalee. Kha'Zix is easier to play, but very similar impact. I guess you do the same kind of job. Ton of damage, hard for anyone to out-duel you, and it's also really good because if you accidentally find someone, you're probably going to win the 1v1. He's actually very forgiving for an assassin, which I think helps a lot. Like, you have your ultimate stealth charges, your jump, your insane damage, good base and scaling, so you're actually really good late game as well. I think he's actually probably the best reliable hard carry jungler you can play right now, and that's also good right in this patch because we have a lot of tanks. You actually have the damage to kill them in their jungle and pressure them. So in Korea, our number 4 spot is occupied by Skarner. It's interesting because he's actually doing better in most other regions at the moment. Having the 4th best win rate is not a bad thing at all, but actually, like, in pre 25-minute games, he has a really bad win rate. He needs time to ramp up and get his items. He becomes unkillable and does a lot of damage, sure, but he doesn't have that early, and Koreans are really good at punishing that. Taking our bronze medal is going to be Fiddlesticks. He actually doesn't have that great a win rate in bronze, really, but he still has an okay win rate, right? But the higher up the ladder you get, the more this guy takes a dump on everyone and everything. Right now, he's really one of the best early junglers you can actually play. Not as much of an answer for his ultimate and stuff like that when you get into these early game team fights. Outside of Korea, we're seeing way more of a damage-centric kind of build in our games. Worth trying out the mobility boots cheese, though, because I think that's still going to work in our games as well. So why is he really good right now? It's kind of like the buff started this thing off. Really, it made people play him way more anyway. It helps him get, like, in easier, I guess, into team fights. One of Fiddle's problems is that he is a mage, right? He's low health, and basically other picks don't really bully him as much anymore. Most popular picks aren't going to gank as hard, and they aren't going to be as aggressive early either. There is still an element of this kind of new pick and surprise, I guess. You're going to catch people a lot when they just aren't expecting it. Like, they'll push forward because they can't see you, but actually you're just over a wall and you'll use your ult over and kill everyone. That is eventually going to wear off. The number 3 in Korea is Malzahar, and it's not really much of a surprise, but actually kind of is a surprise that he isn't higher up. He's still a mage, he's still low health and not that strong early, and Korea is very aggressive in their playstyle. Like, they want to hard carry games really and invade, and Malzahar is very weak to that. Same kind of deal as Skarner really. Pre 25 minutes, this guy has an amazingly low win rate, but after that it shoots up to 3rd best and he really does start to take over completely. Speaking of Skarner, he's going to take a silver medal, the mid-game monster jungler as I like to put him. Having 2 to 3 items, he probably does more than anyone else at the moment. I actually think he's really a low elo sleeper pick as well. Like, he's kind of that hidden OP. I know that's probably like really clickbait, right? But hidden OP champion. Not many people play him, but as soon as you get to like Plat and Diamond, he is way more popular. He is still pretty poop early. He's always kind of had this problem where he does need items, but once he gets them, he does a lot of damage. So you have that damage, you have a stun, you have your ultimate, you have a speed up. Like, you're very much an anti-carry, an anti-mid laner, anti-AD. Very hard to deal with. Right now, we actually have a lot of immobile picks for him to really prey on, I guess. We have like the Jinx, we have the Twitch as well, who'd be really good. Even Malzahar's a pretty easy target for him, and he gets better as the game goes on, which is perfect. Korea's number 2 is actually Volibear, and kind of the hybrid tanking carry, which fits Korean playstyle of aggressive, but more safety of being a tank as well. When you have both together, so you have like a tank and a carry, it makes it so much easier to play. Like, normally carry champions are lower health, which means if you make a mistake, you get punished, but not with Volibear. He's very active on the map, he has good ganks, decent clear, and he can duel people really well, which means you can take more risks, you can be more aggressive. I don't want to go too much into that right now because he's actually my number 1 pick for the rest of us. Volibear just has so many different things that make him amazing. He doesn't need to build damage to do damage, which is really rare and so ridiculous. He's really risk-free, I guess. We kind of talked about that already, but you can bait with his passive as well, and he's really good at ganks kind of for that reason. Like, you have a lot of damage, you have some good engage, but your passive will often make you win 2v2 fights as well. Right now, the reason he is on top for me is because he can flip immobile mages, immobile AD carries. He's very hard to deal with, builds full defense, but not just a meat shield. He does pack a punch. He's just very resilient to AP and AD damage. There's just no perfect answer. Normally with a tank, like if you build magic resist, the AD will kill you. If you build armor, then the AP carry is going to kill you. But with Volibear, that doesn't work. You build health and it's good against both. As an AD carry especially, it's very hard to build against a Volibear because he'll actually kill you. But if you build defense, you don't have enough damage to kill him. So you need like super late game where he actually does fall off a bit. Now, Korea's number 1 pick, I don't think there's any surprise here, is going to be Nidalee. Nidalee is the early game beast champion, control the game, snowball and kill everyone. She has the highest win rate before 30 minutes, the second highest before 35, and then actually drops massively to around 25th after 35 minutes into the game. She bullies every other jungler. She's very hard to deal with, high damage ganker, and she can control dragons now, which are more important, but she just doesn't do as much later into the game. She does have a very high skill cap, but she is high reward, and I guess that kind of fits Koreans perfectly. My low elo monster pick this patch is going to be Amumu. He is literally bending over bronze, silver, gold games and shoving that bandage right up there. I'm not really sure where I was going to go with that, but basically below plat, this guy is really, really good. The new AP items have helped him a little bit, like runic echoes into Sunfire and then Abyssal or Rylai seems to kind of be the way to go at the moment, a good mix of damage and tanky. One of the biggest things is you can turn around games with your ultimate, but you can also just crush when you're ahead. It's so hard to team fight against him, and I guess that is the biggest problem really. He's kind of just too easy to have a really big impact with. If you're ahead, you just ult and kill everyone. If you're behind, you ult and you kill everyone. So for honorable mentions, I have 3 at the moment. 2 good champions and 1 rising star. And I bet you will not expect the rising star one. Kindred is still a monster, honestly, but a lot more punishing now and doesn't snowball as hard either. Bloodrazor is better earlier for her, which is great and a good answer to tanks. But early kills and that kind of snowball now don't lead to a sated devourer, so it's kind of a less reward from the snowball. You're not as strong mid to late game anymore. Gragas is another one who is very good, a good mix between damage and actual tank. Like, you're going to be tanky and hard to kill, but you're also going to kill people. You're a heavy ganker, your flashy is disgusting, especially if you have your ultimate to knock people back in, and you are a high impact jungler. He just doesn't do as much in team fights as other tanks on here, not quite as hard carry, I guess, as these other ones. The rising star is actually Nunu, and I know you're probably not going to expect that one. I didn't expect that either when I was researching this, but a very good win rate at the moment. It's partly because of the Cinderhulk buff, so he's even tankier now, even more annoying, but it's also because of the popular ADs. Ashe, Twitch and Jinx with Blood Boil can destroy a game, so it's kind of rising because of the people he can buff, but also the people he can snowball. The auto-attacking champions really hate that snowball. So that wraps up this video, and this took me way longer than normal to research and put together, so I hope you enjoyed the new format. Remember to like, subscribe, comment and share, but for now, let's go to the robots.